Hey everybody, welcome to another rapid review where in give or take 15 minutes I'll try to give you a verdict on an add-on, an airplane, a helicopter, anything you can get from any of the marketplaces for Flight Simulator 2024 and give an impression on whether or not it's worth your money. Today is the Carenado B55. I am a certified Carenado fanboy. I have a number of their add-on planes, and I think in general they are very good. Now, for this one, what I really like about it is it has very modern instrumentation, the EFD 1000, and if you do have the PMS 50 add-on, which you again can buy on the marketplace for $5, you can also get the GTN 750 and 650, but it has a GNS 530 and 430 in there by default, which are perfectly fine. So that said, you have one variant of this plane, period. That's it. When it comes to the liveries, there are 8 of them and one plain white one. So if you're into plain white, by all means go for it. You have this, like your executive type. You have this, which is coffee with too much creamer in it. Um, you have like this black type, if it wants to load today. Today, Junior. There we go. Personally, I'm generally partial to like a green or a blue. I just think they're pretty colors on most planes, green especially. So that's what we're going with. Let's go ahead and get ourselves onto our runway. And just to show you, I have the B55, the C182Q, the C210N, and the F33A as well. I'm more than happy to go over those as well. But let's start with this one. And we are on the French Riviera somewhere. Let's take off here in Marseille. And why don't we make it daylight so we can actually see what we're doing? Here we go. Now, again, this plane is not on sale and it costs $25, which is a good amount. But for that, you do get a plane that is fully Flight Sim 2024 compatible, meaning you do get all the good stuff. And we're going to start by taking a look at that, which is this cover. And we'll remove the chocks as well. And in the meantime, look how it shines in the early morning light. Goodness gracious, that's a beautiful plane. Remove the chocks, and then the pitot cover is tucked away under there. Again, this model is absolutely stunning. You don't realize how gorgeous some of these models are until you just get up close with them and just walk around them for a little bit to see. The same goes for the interior. When you look around this, uh, you can tell it's a very nice and modern cockpit. Let me show you that these controls do in fact work, and you can hear that they make sound, which is appropriate. That's attention to detail. Let's go ahead and hide it for a minute and open the window here so that you can listen in, and hopefully you can hear this because again I do set my sound a little bit lower so that I don't have to scream over the engines. But let's go ahead and start those engines and do a quick start. And I'm gonna set the mixture and RPMs real quick. And while it's starting up, I will also set ourselves a heading and an altitude so that when we take off, we can just set it on autopilot and kind of take a look around as well. So I'll go ahead and close this, and you can hear the sound appropriately gets muffled. The cockpit itself, you have the EFD 1000 right in front of you, nice and modern. You have your traditional gauges. You have your basic autopilot, and you have your light switches here. Let's turn the heat on. Strobe lights on. Let's just turn everything on, except for the ice lights. We're not going to will that into existence today. When you look at the center stack here, you have your gear control here, and on the left side, your flaps. Uh, Again, the appropriate sounds when you adjust the flaps as well. It's attention to detail. And over here, you have your Garmin GPSs. Let's go ahead and let them find their position. Right below it, you will also find a weather radar. This is a very complete plane. Like it has a lot of nice electronic features. And while all of that starts, we can go ahead and get us onto the runway and take off. Again, because I'm trying to keep these a little bit shorter, I'm going to ignore most of, the procedures, and I'm not going to ask for permission for takeoff. We're just going to wheel ourselves onto the runway and get it going. Now, while we get there, let's open the EFB. And as always, I do like to check if there is a checklist. And it does have a nice and complete checklist with the look at button, which is very helpful. I like checking for a checklist, mainly because newer pilots are going to want to take a look at this, and it helps them get started with the plane. So I think having a checklist is a big advantage. It's a big bonus. Personally, I very much appreciate it. So while we're rolling to the runway here, I just saw the top GPS come alive. You can see out here, there's the runway. The lighting is appropriate. It looks good. The beacon is beaconing. The nice thing is it looks like it belongs. Like the beacon is appropriate. It doesn't just look like someone glued it on. Something I've seen in the past where on cheaper mods it just looks like a glued on little light and it looks goofy. This is not that. You have a gorgeous exterior model, you have a gorgeous interior model, and go ahead and park us here for a second so we can enjoy the sunshine. And let's go ahead and turn the landing lights and taxi lights off here. Who needs them? Up here, let's return these so you can just see them again. And let's go ahead and just get it up in the air. And then we'll take a look at some of the additional items for this one. The sound is appropriate for racing down the runway. You hear the jostling. I do have to give it a little bit of rudder. When you retract the gear, it makes the appropriate sound. All the kind of stuff that you expect. And let's go ahead and engage the autopilot. And you can just see this is a beautiful model. I will take a little bit off the throttle. I might accidentally crash as if I'm not paying attention to the speed. So if we crash, that is entirely my fault. Don't blame the plane for my poor piloting skills. Now, this was recently updated. December 18th was the last update. I haven't had any single issues with this. This plane is career mode compatible. You do need your high performance and multi-engine rating. It's kind of a given. And you can fly ferry flights and private charter with it. So you can get a decent amount of missions with this. It does cost 1.3 million, which is not insanely hard to scrape together in the game. Once you start purchasing your own planes, you'll realize how much easier it is to make money in career mode. I've been playing career mode a little bit more lately, and I might make a separate review on that soon, just to kind of go over the changes that it's had, and how it's improved, because lately I've been kind of having a blast and I have not really been having that many issues. even though I have Chaseplane installed, and I can assure you Chaseplane does not like working with career mode and most of the planes in there. So I've had issues there, but besides that, Chaseplane has been really good to me. We'll go ahead and level out at 4,000 feet and turn on propeller sync and make sure we're not accidentally destroying the plane. I think we should be safe. Yeah, when you take a look at this plane, it's gorgeous. If you're into these types of airplanes, so if you're not heavily into the airliners, and you just like kind of these airplanes that allow you to skip around Europe, skip around the US, really skip around the world, just don't skip over an ocean. It's fantastic. I love everything about it. I will point out no pilot in the pilot seat, so there is that. But beyond that, I really don't have any criticism of this plane. And that also makes it really hard because as a rating, I would give it a 10 out of 10. This does everything that it's supposed to do, and it's perfect, and I enjoy flying it. It's great. But it is at the same time $25. And I think that part can be a little bit of a hard part to get over for most people because $25 is a lot of money. So if you're looking for a judgment on it, absolutely, 10 out of 10. I love flying it. If you're into this type of plane, hell yeah, you should get this. But then you also have to ask yourself, should you wait for a sale, or are you willing to pay the $25 for it? And that's entirely up to you. I think it's worth the $25. I personally paid the $25 for it quite a long time ago when it initially came out, which I believe was in August of this year. And I've flown it a good amount since then. And like I said, it has been updated about 2 weeks ago. I have not encountered any more bugs or issues or anything with it. Like the model looks great. It flies great. Everything about it is what you'd expect it to be. It's just all around perfectly fine. Let me get back on the throttle a little bit to make sure that we don't go over speed here. And we can safely let the autopilot do its thing. You will sometimes get, you see that little jerk when you go back on the RPMs a little bit. There we go. Oop, I never clicked enter on that other GPS unit. But yeah, everything here works. The interior looks beautiful. The exterior looks beautiful. It is a gorgeous plane. It being career mode compatible is really nice, especially if you're into those VIP flights or the ferry flights. I get a ton of those offered to me, so if you purchase the plane for the 1.3 million it costs in the game, you will have plenty of missions that you'll be able to fly with it. So yeah, it absolutely is a 10 out of 10 for me. And if you're into this kind of specific general aviation type plane, I absolutely do believe it is worth the $25. But if you are on the fence or if you're not sure, see if they offer the rent option. I can't see if that's available anymore because mine just says, oh, you already own this, and it just refuses to show me a price. If it has the rent option, maybe try that out first. If 25 is too steep for you for a plane that you'll maybe use in career mode and maybe not as much as other planes that you like, then maybe wait for a sale. But personally, it is a 10 out of 10 for me. I think it's a gorgeous plane. I think it flies really well. I think it looks really, really good. And I do believe this is worth the $25. And funny enough, that puts us just 10 seconds under 15 minutes. So that's a pretty good job, everybody. So that said, I think I covered everything for this plane. I hope it helps you form an image of what it looks like, what it does, And if you have any questions, by all means, drop them. But otherwise, I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day.